injuries for today. Deebo with his calf won't practice. Everyone else is full. Go ahead.
What's Talanoa's situation? Do you expect him to get a full week of practice and get right back in the starting lineup?
He's full.
What, just not having him out there for the past year and a half, what has that done for the defense as far as the adjustments that had to be made, and what are you losing by not having him?
It got Tig a lot of reps last year. He had to step in the middle of the year, and it got him a lot better. But obviously, always miss Huff out there. The big play capability, how well he communicates, flying sideline to sideline. We're gonna be pumped. He should get back this week if everything goes right, and we missed him.
When guys are out, is it kind of a thing where you don't want the quarterback to feel he has to try to do too much, and is Brock pretty good about that?
Yeah, we never ask Brock to really do too much. We ask him to do the play that's called. If nothing's there, what are your options after that? You scramble, you throw things away, sometimes you take a sack. Things you always try to do is not turn it over, but nothing really changes when you're missing guys. Game plan can sometimes change, but not what you ask the quarterback to do.
On Isaac Garendo's carry on Sunday, it seemed like if he had waited and a little longer, something would have opened up. A, is that the right read by me on that? And B, is that, if it is it common for young running backs in your system not to have the patience initially to let plays develop?
I think it's common in all systems. JP had one like that in the game too. With the remote in our hands, we all slow it down and see that, and but I don't think there was a big one there. If he would have kept pressing, I think he would have got 1 to 3 yards and tackled and cut back a little early, so he got 3 guys who hit him for -1 yard. But there's a very fine line in that. It wasn't like that was going to be a big play or anything. The nose had us a little bit. The backers fell back with them not pressing it, but I was hoping for 1 yard on the look. We lost 1, so.
Kyle, do you have a lot fewer plays at your disposal without Deebo and McCaffrey, or do you just have the same amount of plays with running them with different guys?
Yeah, I'd say. We saw the same amount of plays, just somewhat different styles of plays, different people in different spots. You eliminate some special things that you would only do for those guys, but the number doesn't change. Just there's things those guys do very well, nothing the other guys can't do. But there's kind of different percentages on how much you call them and things like that.
It seems like you're calling play action passes less frequently than you have in the past. Is there something defenses are showing you that leads you to call more drop back passes?
Just schematic reasons, who we were going against, what's good versus teams. Sometimes, when play action doesn't do much for 6 on the line, doesn't do much for a lot of blitzes, things like that. So that had a little factor to it the last week, and say the week before, running it 38 times limits everything a little bit.
Kyle, what do you think of Renardo Green and Malik Mustafa? They're young players. Do you see them getting some more run in the weeks ahead here?
Possibly. They got to be ready always in case of an injury. I could say they don't have any plans to play and or to go in, and then one play happens and they're in the rest of the game. It was nice to mix Malik in last week. I thought he did well with his reps. Bernardo came in a couple of dime packages, and he did well with his reps too. So possibly with the scheme, whatever that is this week, we can keep building off that. But if not, they're always one play away from playing the rest of the game.
How many fewer complications are there game planning against a Rams defense that doesn't have Aaron Donald?
It's definitely a little different. That's been 99% of our brain power for a number of years, and it's kind of weird just not thinking that way. But schematically, I know Raheem's not there and stuff, but they're still running the same fronts and same coverages and things, and but it's different.
Any roster moves this week?
Not right now.
What is your assessment of the Rams, Kyle? They come into this game, you would think, pretty desperate.
Yeah, I think, anytime that you lose like they did, that's, and being 0-2, I know that feeling, and in the NFL, whether you lose 2 in a row after winning 10 in a row, or you start 0-2, if you lose 2 in a row in the NFL, it's always a kind of an Armageddon feeling in a building, especially when you lose lopsided like that. So, how teams come out the week after that, it's such a fine line in those things. We were a couple of plays away from the game going like that in Minnesota, so it can happen so fast, and all you got to do is watch the Detroit game the week before to see how good of a team this team can be. They taken it to overtime in the 5th quarter to get a chance to win, and how they had to come back to do that there at the end. So last week got out of hand a little bit early, especially the 4 plays they had on offense and just not getting started quick. But by no means was that an indication of what this team's gonna be going through the rest of the year.
How similar schematically is the Rams offense compared to the Vikings offense you just had?
It's similar. I mean, it all comes from the same foundation.
Does the muff punt give you pause about Jacob Cowling back there, or you gonna stick with him?
No, I mean, it's one muff punt. I mean, just when it comes to catching stuff, he's been as natural of a catcher as we've had in our 8 years here, just in practice, how he's been in the games. I know that one got away from him, which we can't have those, but, you know, everyone muffs one here and there, and we just hope that was the end of it.
Is there any Achilles involvement in Deebo's injury?
No.
What was wrong when you watched the punt block there? What was the situation?
We were laid off the ball on the right side, which made one guy a little bit behind, and then the guy outside of him was a little bit too wide. He could have been a little tighter to save him. We had a snap count that tried to surprise them and surprise one of our guys who was just this half a second on the road and stuff, and that guy split us and should have kept it tighter on the outside, but we gave him too quick of a lane.
Mitch was a little slow, it seemed like, to react to the ball being thrown. Was it just like he was surprised, or did you get a good sense?
No, we just did a silent cadence, and he just one guy just hesitated. It'd probably be hard for you guys to see. I mean, it's that slow, but when you do that, a guy gets an edge, and then if this guy outside was kicking out too far, just like in protection, he's got a clean path. We just got to tighten it up and come off the ball at the same time.
Kyle, did you tune into the Deebo Samuel show on Bleacher Report with Brandon Ayuk last night?
No, I didn't.
You
I
plan
turn
on
into
being
that
Deebo?
I do that every day. That's my 20-minute break, or however long it lasts. Nothing else?
One last question. How important is the atmosphere for this game? You talked about losing 2 in a row. Obviously, you guys don't want to do that. The Rams don't want to drop a third. You talk about Levi South. How important is that specifically in a game like this?
I mean, you always want to give teams no light. I mean, when teams are back or against the wall, which both teams in that situation, both teams want to come out aggressive and hard and give neither side of the ball any light. When you do have a situation like we do when we go there and how we have so many fans show up, that's only cool if you play real well. If you play real well and can kind of control the game, then it gets real fun. If not, then it's twice as disappointing.
Thanks.